I see.
You see that. So first
Yes.
you see that, second you understand that, and then
Okay.
ask your mind, what should I do so that I am not at all affected, dictated by anything happening outside. Then this problem of the noise will also go away.
Okay.
So you are intelligent, so let us understand that there are 4 conditions that I may say influences us in our daily life. 4 states, 4 condition, whatever you want to say. In Hindi it is very clear, paristhiti, manosthiti, atmasthiti, upasthiti. You see that sthiti means the state. First, the state of the world. Second is the state of the mind. Third is the state of the real self, my true nature. Fourth is simply the presence. 4. State of the world. Look at the world is constantly changing. Today is 2nd November here. In the morning you have in the evening. Yesterday was different than today. The world outside is constantly changing. So in our Eastern wisdom, we call this world as Jagat. And the literal meaning of the Jagat, it has already passed. Moment to moment. Just you were smiling, we were talking about the time, that time has already gone. And after an hour, this session will also come to an end. That is how the world is constantly changing. We are understanding the 4 aspects, 4 different states. The world, when the moment we say the world is influenced, dictated by the time and the space and the causation. Somewhere in the world, the baby is born. At another space, person died. At another place, the person is in stress. At another place, you are listening to me. The world is constantly changing. But I am aware of this change. I was yet also present yesterday. I am present today. I was present 1 year ago. That I never changed. That real I. Let me explain with example. You were Oksana when you were born and given the name. 5 years old, you were still Oksana. The body changed. The body is a part of the world. 10 years, the mind changed. Body changed. Outer conditions changed. That is the part of the world that is not made. Oksana remained the same. You became a teacher. But Oksana did not change. You have a label for the world in terms of profession. Teacher is a label, it's a profession. Why we give a label? We give a label in the world to know, to recognize what you do. It's a part of the world. So teacher is a label, is a part of the world that changed. You were not a teacher when you were born, 10 years old, 15 years old, and then you became a teacher. But Oksana remained the same inside. That Oksana, that I, the real I, free from the labels, and still the same Oksana is talking to me. So now you have come to me, you have approached me, I have a problem. Who experiences that problem? The mind. All knowledge happens in the mind. Pay attention. All knowledge happens in the mind. I have a pain, knowledge happens in the mind. I have pleasure, knowledge happens in the mind. I have lot of suffering, knowledge happens in the mind. I am a teacher, knowledge happens in the mind. I have a toothache, knowledge happens in the mind. And you go to the dentist. Dentist say, don't worry, we will remove the mind from there for some period, giving you anesthesia. We'll ask the mind to sleep to that tooth, which gives you an acute pain. See that? See that? When the science can make the mind sleep to the pain, there is a natural tendency created in the mind because of evolution of a human race that is also known as sleep. You have an acute and extreme suffering. You cry a lot. And after crying, you fall into sleep. All the pain disappears. Why? The mind goes to the absence of experience. The same way anesthesia is given. Absence of experience that is happening in the mind. The experience is nothing but the knowledge. Are you aware and listening to me?
Yes, I am.
So there is a relationship between the state of the mind and the state of the world that gives me the knowledge. The body is a part of the world and I have a toothache. There is an extreme pain. So that world goes to the mind, gives me an experience of the pain, and the mind starts throbbing to get rid of the pain. So doctor says, don't worry, let me make your mind sleep to that pain. And you don't feel. The doctor takes the tooth out. But the impressions, habit remains in the mind. What are those habits, impressions? Nothing but the impurities in the mind. So when the mind again goes to that tooth after an hour, effect of anesthesia is gone. Oh, I feel something, some sensation. Not too much of pain. So the mind picks up the same habit. So when the mind, because of the habit, picks up and gets dictated by the world outside, you will continue to suffer. There is no way the suffering can come to an end. Then some people, many impressions about relationship enters into the mind and it goes to the intellect. The intellect processes and decides not to marry and remain single because of the suffering that you experience in the world outside. It's not a big deal. You are married because you saw there is a happiness in that marriage. So, you marry because of happiness, not because of unhappiness. But after a few years, you divorce because of happiness, not because of unhappiness. What is happening to the mind? The mind is getting carried away, dictated, ruled by the world that is changing outside. The intellect concludes, after all, I should marry now. No pleasure, no happiness. So I marry. So after a few weeks, few months, no, it was my mistake. Let me correct my mistake. I'm still influenced and dictated by the world outside. Use this example to your noise. I'm coming to that. Understanding. In India, in the beginning, I was living in a very humble house owned by my dad. My dad said, no, you have to live in the second floor. I'm not going to build anything more. I was happy. A lot of people used to come. I said, come and sit on the ground. Never affected. Then in 1996, I got a diplomatic assignment. You get a royal house with a maid house built in it with a swimming pool. I enjoyed that without getting affected by the world of change. I returned to the same house in 2000. Then I bought another house on the 8th floor. I sold that house in 2012. During that period I was in USA. I was thrown back again to a very humble rented house. The chief executive officer of a Fortune 500 companies come to me for a session. I said, here, this is my house. This is where you have to do. Why should I be affected by what is happening outside? It never came to my mind that this is my house. I always thought that this is the guest house. So first humble house owned by my father, guest house. Second guest house, the embassy gave me. I was in Jakarta, posted for 4 years. Oh, such a beautiful house. We used to have 10 rabbit. The maid used to come. Such a royal. We returned again back to the same guest house. Then another house I bought. Everyone said, oh, this is wonderful. I sold that house. I thrown back to the... So in New Jersey, I bought another house. Everyone liked that house. Then my son told me that, no, you have to move to Arizona, sell that house. I sold that house. Why to get attached? Why to get attached? This is a guest house. I have to leave one day. The house will remain there. It's all a play and a fun in the life. The world is constantly changing. I should not be influenced by anything happening outside. And now, only 2 guys living there. My son lives in California. I thank him, I'm grateful to him. I'm acting as a trustee. Now I'm acting as a trustee. I enjoy that moment. Because you get dictated by the mind which says, let me own something, possess something, for the sake of pleasure. No pleasure comes by possessing anything. Once you know it, I'm trustee. I enjoy, I keep the house clean. It's such a huge house. 5-6 bedroom, and a glass house built for me by the son. I should give the lessons in a better environment. I know it is a guest house. I know I am a trustee. Where is the problem? So the choice lies in the mind and the intellect. When the mind habitually runs after things, people, object, when it runs after it pays attention to the things outside for the sake of peace and happiness. There is no peace and happiness in the world outside. Whether it is a noise, whether it is a honey, whether it is a divorce, whether there is anything happening in the world. Can I put this wisdom into my head, my friend? Oksana.
Yes.
Where is the problem? Just a day before we have Halloween, and we said, no, we have the resources. We bought a lot of candies. In the evening, from 6 to 8, there were more than 200 kids. And my wife enjoyed giving them. And I saw that my wife is enjoying, so I was also enjoying without being a part of it. I was giving a lesson, the door is here, and every time, she was so happy, excited. What happened to Halloween? It has passed. Gone. That is why the world is known as Jagat. It is here, it is gone. It is here, it is gone. It is here, it is gone. When the mind is pure, the intellect makes the right choice that it is here, it is gone. Noise is here, it is gone. Here, gone. Mind is pure. And then you say to the kids, invite more kids, make little more noise. I am enjoying. I am not a part of it. We started understanding. What is that understanding? The 4 states. The state of the world outside will remain as it is. Nobody ever can change it. You cannot think of utopia. You cannot create an egalitarian society. The democracy has failed. Communism has failed. Aristocracy has failed. Dictatorship fails. That is the nature of the world. That is the nature of the world. You don't have money, you can still be happy. You are the richest, you cannot be happy. You are single, you can be happy or unhappy, depending on the state of your mind. Not because you married, then there is a condition that you must be happy because you get married. Nobody says this. Nobody says because you are single you must be happy. No way. That is outer condition. What is the state of the mind? so simple understanding the state of the mind. So every time your mind has become a chattering box because of the noise, now allow this chattering, allow this gossip which I'm talking today to enter into your mind. Oh, the state of the world is constantly changing. Morning noise, evening noise, no noise. There are periods. This is how the world works. The state of the mind picks up that experience of likes and dislikes, of hate and love, of jealousy, of pain and the pleasure. First thought, noise. Second thought, I hate this noise. Third, I did not sleep yesterday, so I cannot sleep today. Third, everything is happening in the thought. Where is the noise? You are creating a noise in your mind. Where is the noise? There is no noise. The noise is created by a thought from the past because of the liking, because of the disliking. That is the state of the mind. That state of the mind is impure. So the impure mind will always suffer. There is no way you can end suffering in your life. Third, the state of the self. Our master says, the world is outside, then the mind is near, and behind the mind there is a self that always bubbles with the peace and happiness, love and wisdom. Beauty, that is never changing identity, that I never changed since you are born. Can you say it? Your body has changed, you did not. Your mind has changed, you did not. Your intellect has changed, you did not. Your ego has changed, you did not. All are parts of the world. Creates an experience in the mind, and behind that, that I, that Oksana, never changed. So that Oksana is not at all dictated, affected, influenced by anything happening outside. And it will never change. It is the source of permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom. And that expresses itself in the fourth, the simple presence. And that presence witness the mind, witness the state of the mind, witness the world outside, and enjoy the moment from moment. Are you present here? Yes, that is the presence. Are you present here with the mind that goes to the past, projects into the future? Yes, that is the impurity. Past projects into the future with reference to painful experiences. What should I do? Should I leave this profession? I cannot leave. I require the money. Okay, I require the money. I want this. No. So, conflict and confusion. Who created this conflict and confusion?
The mind.
Mind. Whose mind? Whose mind is this? Say goodbye to this mind. The way the dentist says goodbye to your mind. Hold on. But 1 hour, bye-bye. But that never changes the habit of the mind. the mind returns again with the same old habit. So we have to give some practical experience to this mind through different practices that I gave you. I'm summarizing all the previous sessions, so you continue with the previous practices. So when you do it with a clarity, means I'm doing the practice either to move the mind from outside to inside, or to purify the mind, or to simply bypass the mind, transcend the mind. So there are many words used. So whatever the word that you feel is needed, understand. First, world outside, the state of the world is constantly changing. Contemplate and reflect and pay attention to the wall that is in front of you, belongs to your room. Become aware. Is the wall not changing? It appears not changing, but it is changing. Leave that house for 100 years, it will fall apart. Right?
Yes.
So mind creates a delusion and illusion. It appears it will not change, but it is changing. It appears it is not changing, but it is changing. See the illusion. And that delusion causes the suffering. Sky is not blue, but it appears blue. So how to know it is not blue? Through understanding. I have a knowledge in the mind that the sky is not blue, even though it appears blue. Am I right? Even if I have a wisdom, I look into the sky, it still appears blue. But the knowledge and the wisdom in the mind knows that it is not blue. Knowledge and the wisdom in the mind knows that this wall is not permanent, it is also changing. This body is changing. The world, it is a part of the world that is changing. I have to do nothing with this part. I am not there. Noise is also changing. I am not the part of this world. So the mind is not obsessed with the thing, an object outside. The mind is free. So the state of the mind, we have a choice to change this mind. We don't have a choice to change the world. Through contemplation and reflection, through the practice, I bring in the new experience of calmness and a peace, and I hold on to calmness and peace. You hold on to the noise. You do the practice, you felt calm and peace. Why don't you hold on to the peace? No, you don't understand, I have a great problem. Every problem who is suffering from pain, they declare that only the God has given them the problem. Nobody can match it. The extreme case of mental delusion. That keeps repeating, I see the sky is blue. Don't you see it? Yes, I also see the sky is blue. But it is not. So you don't listen to the last point. You continue, okay, done. I see the sky is blue. You see the sky is blue. Don't go further. Don't teach me further. That mind is obsessed with That mind is obsessed with the suffering. You cherish that I have a lot of suffering in the world. See that? And still I am living. What kind of a person you are, the state of the mind brings in that life. Why? The third point, the state of the self is full of peace and happiness. That state is full of peace and happiness. How dare you, mind, come into my life and create a problem? Why? Because the self is of the nature of peace and happiness. So you practice, you experience, you hold on to that experience. Why the mind is going to the noise? The mind has yet to become pure. What is the way? Practice, practice, understanding. What is the practice? Janati, knowledge. Right desire. What is the right desire in the mind? I want my own self. I want to discover that inner peace and happiness. Peace and happiness is inside. So I'm replacing that thought. So one thought, second thought, third thought. So you are creating a noise pollution in your mind by thinking.
I don't say it's only by thinking. It's also by what I hear all the time, every day.
You hear from the world outside. That creates a thought. And the world is not you. Oksana is totally different and separate from the world. The mind brings in the relationship by thinking. It gives fuel. But if you stop giving a fuel of the thought, the noise stays outside. Oksana remains as it is. Without the structure of a thought, you cannot experience and feel noise.
Okay.
Subconscious thinking. Otherwise, what happens? Sensation in the ear of a sound cannot discriminate between what is noise and what is sound without a thought. Think of it. Think. You're intelligent. That's why I said, no, let me take you to a higher understanding. How do you know me? Without the structure of a thought, you cannot know me. You cannot say I am a human being without the structure of a thought. You'll only have a sensation through the eyes. You have some words striking into your ears. Who am I? Come on, tell me. Sensations through these sense organs cannot have a thought. I'm moving you to a higher level. Sensation is only a sensation. Are you understanding?
Okay.
No, whether you are understanding or you are not. So be very clear.
Yes, I do understand.
So sensation, my eye does not have a structure of thought and tell you that, oh, you are Oksana. I'm not thinking. That sensation is processed by the mind based on liking and disliking, attachment and detachment, desire, confusion, loss of memory, loss of intelligence, delusion, then I am suffering.
Okay, and may I ask you one question?
Yes, you can ask as many questions as possible.
Yes, and what can you say about this situation? Imagine this football pitch and house also smells.
Hold on. Football pitch. It is
Yes.
out of the world or it is a part of the world? From there you begin your journey. Football pitch.
Mm-hmm.
It is different from the world outside.
So it is outside.
It is a part of the world or it is not the part of the world.
It is a part of the world outside.
And that world is constantly changing.
Yes.
I have no control over the change. How the mind is influenced by that football pitch, which is a part of the world.
How can the mind influence it?
Now, how the mind is influenced by the football pitch that is the part of the world. How my mind is influenced.
Okay, it's influenced through sense organs.
Okay, then you have a thought.
Yes.
So how the mind is influenced through the thinking about the football pitch. So check all your thinking process which has an element of liking and disliking and a hate. And that hate causes the confusion. Then there is a loss of memory. Then there is a loss of intelligence. Then the delusion is there. And what the delusion says, this football pitch is a curse, that noise is a curse, it has created problem for me, I cannot get rid of the problem. And hence I am suffering. Means, I do not want to understand the sky is not blue. No, sky is blue. So you started your journey declaring sky is blue.
I could not find the answer to your question.
So when you start your journey with the sky is blue, you live in ignorance and the ignorance causes the suffering. You don't want to break that shell, that structure of thought. And that structure of thought breaks when you contemplate and reflect on these 4 different states, followed by the practice. And the practice brings you an experience. Then you hold on to that experience instead of you are holding on to the football pitch. I had a wonderful friend when I went to India this year. He had been a student for the last 15-20 years and he enjoyed my presence all the time, had a lot of respect. He said, see sir, don't invite person B with you, because whenever I go to my students' home, at least 10-15 people go with me and they have to prepare, they know it. They have to cook the food not only for me. I enjoy sharing. So I said, I'm not attached to that guy. I will not invite that guy. Okay, we went there. We were eating, dining together. And that friend of mine was telling me on the dining table, eating such a beautiful delicacies that you see that I told you not to invite that guy. Now he he's a crazy guy, he doesn't listen to anything, and I kept listening. I said, let me enjoy my food first. I will respond to you after that. So what is your opinion after the food, he asked me. I said, I have a wonderful opinion about you, not about him. You are holding on to that person in your mind at the time of eating, after eating. So you have a greater problem in your head, even if the person is not there physically present. This is the problem created by the mind that is facing to the world outside. It will create a wonderful and a beautiful and a logical thought. Understand, you wanted to say and I interrupted you. Understand, there is a football pitch and then there is a smell and then there are hundreds of kids. This is what this guy is doing. I said, take care of your head first. Forget about that guy. He is sleeping. He did not come with us to dine together. He is enjoying. He has no reaction against you. He never thinks evil of you. He is neutral, indifferent. It's a part of the world. Did you understand this example? So I hold on to the noise. No, not noise. So I hold on to the football pitch. The mind plays the tricks with you to cause the suffering. No, okay, forget about the noise first. No, let us understand the football pitch. Forget about it. Let us understand the kids. Where I'm holding on to, what I'm holding on to in my mind through the structure of a thought, even after receiving the first impression of the noise from the sense organ, and then the mind started its story. So I told him that you spoiled the food cooked by your wife. I wonder if you don't suffer from constipation and indigestion, because the state of the mind by which you eat food also disturbs your system. And I enjoyed your food. I love you and I love your wife. So that was the message I gave to him. That is what these teachers, we teachers always find an opportunity to go straight and give the message. Return again, the world outside, the state of the world, the state of the mind. The intellect has a choice. Mind, why you are holding on to the noise? Why don't you hold on to the experience that I have in this practice? No, but the noise is there. Hold on to this practice. Hold on to the experience. No, but the noise is there. I am still paying attention. The guy who is still cursing that person, he felt as if I don't invite him for the dinner, I am taking a revenge. And that guy is sleeping, enjoying. He has no regret, he has no reaction. I told him, no, today you don't come. I have lot of people. So I can only invite 15 people. You are the 16th, so we'll meet again. And the second person invited this first one also for the next time for the dinner, and he did not turn up. Now whose problem is this? He invited. You come, very good. You don't come, very good. Noise comes, good. No noise is there, good. It's a practical. I live my life daily in that mode. I enjoy. That is the way the world works. Somebody is going to hate you. Somebody is going to love you. Listening to me, 15 people will like me. Maybe one person dislike me. Then what should I do? I do nothing. Thank you very much. Very much thank you. No problem, no worries. No worries. You like a particular car and I like another car. Where is the problem? But this liking and disliking should remain at the neutral level. It should not become an attachment. Because the moment it becomes an attachment, all the 8 factors returns. And once the 8 factors returns, your intellect is dictated by the passion of the mind. And that intellect cannot see that sky is not blue. So first it starts with the sky is blue and there is a noise, then it says, okay, I understand you, teacher. But then after all, do you understand football pitch? Do you understand the kids? You are still continuing the same journey again and again. I have to break it. The chain of thinking. That is why we are learning these principles. Are we on a vacation to just learning these principles and forget it? No. We both are very serious. So your mind says, okay, I have understood it. But he does not understand there is a noise. He does not understand the sky is blue. The mind goes back there. And then you tell your mind, come on, the state of the mind. My mind has changed hundreds of times over the period of my life. Did your mind not change? Yes, it changed. So can I not change the mind? Can I not replace it by understanding? Yes, there is a state of the self. The Oksana never changed. My mind changed. That is causing me the problem. So let me change this mind. Mind, hold on to the self. Declare, I am the peace. And when I am of the nature of the peace, can that peace and happiness be disturbed? What is the nature of the sweet? Do you add sugar into the sweet to feel the sweet?
No.
Nature.
Because it is sweet already.
Or sweetness is the essential nature of the sugar. We don't add anything. We don't subtract anything. The nature of the self is peace and happiness. Nothing can be added. Nothing can be subtracted. Can I not hold on to single thought rather than holding on to multiple thoughts? Football pitch, lot of children, smell, and the noise in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening. Don't you feel hard to think so many thoughts? Instead of keeping one thought, why don't you do a simple thing? Why your mind goes into a very complex thinking? Simple, take a step. Hold on to, declare, peace is my essential nature. Let me hold on to that peace, that presence. Yes, Oksana never changed. My mind wants me to change the self, that will never happen. The mind cannot change the self. You know why? The mind is the creation of the self. Self created the mind. The mind did not create the self. Mind did not create the self. I heard a beautiful, real story. The son was 16 years old and dad was almost almost 50, 55. So the dad told the son, why don't you understand? Why you always do the crazy stuff? At least, I should not have given you the birth. So son said that I also gave you the birth, Dad. And the dad got more crazy. How dare you say, I gave you the birth, I along with your mom. You say that you gave me the birth? The son seems to be an awakened guy. So son said, Dad, come and sit. Let me explain to you. When I was not born, were you a dad? The moment I was born, you became a dad. I'm 16 years old, son. You are 16 years old, dad. There is no difference of age. That is the presence you live in. So what you are thinking, you are 55 years old in your mind, which is a delusion. You live here and now in the presence of the self, and the problem is no more. That problem does not exist. Then one day you go to the football pitch where all the kids are there making a noise. And noise is a play for you. So you say, come on, my kids, let us make a greater noise that I never heard of. Now that mind is totally detached, no delusion. I don't dare to do that, Oksana mind is saying. And when the Oksana mind is saying that I don't dare to do that, become aware of the presence. Oksana is the same. It is the mind that is causing a problem. Hold on. Stop this. I will do one day. Why? The world outside is not me. The state of the mind is not holding on to anything outside, not holding to the humble house that I had in New Delhi, not holding on to the diplomatic house that I had in Jakarta, not holding on to another humble house when I returned to US, not to that house that I sold last year, not to this house which is owned by my son. Where I am, I'm in peace. I'm in happiness. Not holding to any thought. That thought is only created. You understand that part, I think, you had some doubt. There is an instant liking and disliking for an object outside. And that is so natural. You go for window shopping. There is the liking and disliking. You return home and finished. But it is not finished. When the mind starts thinking about liking, when the mind starts thinking about disliking, when the mind starts thinking about the noise, when it's liking with the dislike. Otherwise, we see hundreds of people neutral. Oh, that car looks very nice. Finished. Oksana is beautiful, someone says. And you also say, this guy seems to be wonderful, handsome. Oh, there's a feeling comes. Feeling comes and goes. The mind does not create a structure of thought. So when the mind creates a structure of thought, for example, in between you and me, so Oksana is beautiful, and after the session, Oksana is beautiful. Then the evening, the Oksana is beautiful. And then the next day, Oksana is beautiful. Then the mind is waiting for the next session. And then again I see the Oksana is beautiful. The thought is created. Now I am attached. This is how the attachment happens in the mind through the thinking. Sensation has no thought. So who is creating this liking and disliking? Your mind. Your mind. Choice is yours. You work on the mind and let the mind work on you. Let the mind continue to work on you. It will create more problems, more. Then what will happen in dream? You will listen that as if the football ground has entered into your house. Let the mind work on you. Let it continue to work. Then one day you will experience in your mind that the football pitch and the ground has entered into your bedroom. This is how this mind creates a delusion. And now can't the intellect see clearly how this football pitch can enter into my bedroom, my room? Am I not crazy? Yes. Take over the mind. Mind, change the direction. Hold on to something that will give me at least calmness and peace. My dear friend, Oksana, last point, intelligence. What is intelligence? When we learn something, learning, and then we understand something, so that understanding is realized in my mind. So when it is realized in my mind, then it changes my experience. Where? In the mind. Pay attention. When the experience changes, your brain changes. Brain keeps that habit pattern. The neuroscience says that whenever we have an anxiety, so it's an anxiety pathway created in the brain. When you are disturbed with something, that pathway is created in the brain. So mind goes back to the same pathway, and then you have lot of doubt, confusion, delusion, stress, problem, suffering. Now what is happening? Knowledge is realized through understanding and the practice, and the experience changes in the mind even for 5 minutes. Now that experiences start changing the brain, means the brain pathways changes. So when the brain pathway changes, your attitude changes. When your attitude changes, your personality changes. When your personality changes, your mind starts responding differently. It leaves the past. It responds differently to the outer situations and the world outside. And what is that difference? Because you are looking for the self, it starts responding in peace, love, happiness, and wisdom. Where is the problem then? The world stands as it is. The mind stands as it is, except the mind has moved to its natural state. But somewhere in your head, in your mind, no, I understand, but he does not understand me. No, I understand you more than you understand yourself. No, those thought comes, I know, because of the impurity. No, let it come. I can sometime see that, I can sometime read those things. It comes. It used to come to me also when I was learning from my mentor.
Mm-hmm.
How this crazy guy thinks like him thinks about himself, that peace is my essential nature. But I used to blast at him. I used to say, my mind is not accepting you. And he used to say that I'm not saying you to accept. I'm not saying you to believe. I'm saying you to experiment. Know the principle, understand it, practice it, pursue the path and see what happens. At least I'm not guiding you how to enter into a greater stress. I'm not creating any suffering to you. And he was always full of love and compassion. Even I used to blast him, no, I don't, you seem to be crazy to me. I don't accept this. And he used to answer out of love and compassion. What is the problem of experimenting, understanding, holding on the mind to the thought of a peace, which is your essential nature? I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm not harming you. This will not harm you. So through different ways, he has to be full of compassion and love. Not at all concerned whether I'm saying that you are crazy and other people are saying, no, you don't understand my problem. He used to return again and again through different ways of understanding. So the same way, I'm not harming you at all.
Of course not.
So where is the problem? Why not I should hold on to the thought of a peace? Rather than the brain created a pathways that is causing a lot of problem to me. Why not follow the highway? Why you are taking an exit? Every time I guide you. Mine takes an exit, football pitch, and the smell, and a lot of people. Now more students have come. I'm saying follow the highway. Hold on. We will take an exit later. No, but if. So this no, but and if it drops from the mind, that is what the purification of the mind is.